Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Glad that you're here. I've got a great video set for you. Starting today, I've got some exciting stuff coming for you. I bought a one of these Retro Sound stereos for the truck because it doesn't have the dash cut up on it. So I wanted something that looked stock. I looked everywhere for just a stock AM FM radio to put in it, and then I would just Bluetooth music, and I couldn't find one under like 90 bucks that worked. So I found this Retro Sound radio on their eBay site, and this was a B stock. It's not perfect, but I'm sure it'll look great once it's in the truck. It functions just like it's supposed to. And we're going to give it a try. Set it up, put it in there. I do like the Retro Sound because they're much smaller than the original radio. And with these defroster hoses and parts going up underneath that dash, man, we need something like that. So I think we're just going to move straight into putting together this cool Retro Sound radio here. You can see I've got all of the parts spread out. And I mean, all that came out of this one little box here. I'm going to use the liner for that box to kind of hold on to some of this hardware, because you can see those screws are little bitty, and lots of washers and nuts to space out their shafts for your knobs. This thing has a lot to it, but when it's all said and done, it's pretty simple. It's just yeah, before you proceed, you got this nice little thing right here. Read the directions. If you have questions, email them, call them, let them know. Before you mess something up, definitely good to do that. This little instruction manual right here, super precise. It goes through every single step. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm just basically going to fold through it. I've got all my parts laid out that I need. And we got to be super careful to put everything together. I mean, you can see you got little micro plugs to plug in to your actual face for the radio. It goes in there. You got a ring for around it to make it fit the dash better. Then we got to put in our shafts on these brackets, get everything kind of positioned the way we want it before it actually goes in the truck. show you, like bring you guys in here. This is where I'm at with mounting hardware. I went and found some fender washers that fit on these shafts really tight. They send you big plastic washers, and I'm okay with some plastic stuff, but I want this thing mounted rigid. So these fender washers, I feel like, are gonna definitely hold it against the dash better. If it rattles, we may have to insulate it with something. But the holes in my dash, I'm not sure they're exactly factory. I'm just kind of making it up as I go. Their directions are pretty clear on getting the radio housing built, but then when you're mounting it, it's not all that clear. So we're trying to get it a little bit closer to being what we want here by doing, yeah, a little body shop modification. So I'll bring you guys back in once I have it mounted up in the dash. After spending some time working with this, I've got it where I think it fits pretty good. I've got these black plastic washers on the outside now with my fender washers on the inside. I put the knobs on there so that that all fits. The next step's going to be to mount the back of it, and I've got this stud that screws into the back of the radio. It goes into this metal bracket. That's pretty standard for aftermarket stuff. I've got to attach it to the radio and then figure out how I'm going to attach this to the inside of the cab. And like if I show you guys up inside of here, it's there's not a lot to just fasten it to. So we're gonna have to figure that out. I may end up grinding and cleaning the underside and actually adhesive bonding this to the metal and then letting it bolt into the back of the radio to tighten it down. And I also have those connections. This plugs into the back of the radio itself. I've got to put that in, plus this stud. I'm thinking, after looking in here at how little room there is back inside of this thing, I may end up just pulling the radio back out and hooking up a couple of things and putting it in there. So what I've devised here is I took a piece of metal and I drilled a hole, spot welded a little bolt onto it, and I'm going to mix up some 2-part epoxy, and I've already sanded the inside of the dash. I'm going to glue this piece of metal in there where the strap needs to bolt so that I have an attachment point. Yeah, you know, most of the time you have a speaker or something to bolt stuff to, but being the auto body guy, we welded up that to get rid of the speaker. So now all I have is flat sheet metal inside of there to mount it to. Alright, so there's not a lot of room for you guys back in here. As you can see, I have the brace bolted to the back of the radio that's in place with my stud mounted to the brace. And what you can't see is I've got a whole bunch of JB Weld made up here. I am going to take and put this JB Weld on my little metal strap. Once I figure out how to make that happen. Yeah, so bend that down. And put this on here, nice and delicate, like we're icing the cake. Try to get it coated. All the way across there. Yeah, hey. See how easy that was? I'm going to put us a little bit more on there just because I had it made. More is better. Okay, so you guys can see what I've done, got the bracket mounted, have the bracket glued to the underside of the dash, have cardboard down here propping the radio up so it'll stay in place. I did lean that bracket back in hopes of being able to run my air conditioner ductwork around inside of there, because things start to get tight up inside of here. A fella just can't even get his head back there to really see it, so I'm using the camera to help me check out what's going on. Now, so that has the radio fully mounted in the dash. All right, guys, so did get everything plugged in here. Constant power, accessory on, ground. Then I did buy a Retro Sound amplified FM antenna for it to plug in. Still got to get an extended aux cord and all these defroster hoses hooked up. Things kind of tidied up under here, but yeah, man, everything seems to function like it should. It's just that learning curve of having a brand new radio or anything. Got a little bit of stuff to do to figure out exactly everything to do with her and make it work. But hey, we'll get it going. Yeah, the more you play with it. 75323. So just to show you, it does make noise. And turn it off, and it's off. So I guess the true test is I come out tomorrow and see if my if my battery's dead or not. I do believe I've got it all hooked up right, where it's constant 12 volt and then switch 12 volt. Here's the antenna. I didn't want to run a big old chrome antenna. You guys all remember these trucks had the antenna that come out of the cowl right here, and the cowl always got bent. The antenna was always loose. So we snipped that hole off and got it all cleaned up. So hey, at any rate, that finishes up the radio install. All right, so that is going to be the end of this video, guys. I appreciate so much you guys watching my videos. If you find the content interesting, consider subscribing, hit the thumbs up, share the video with other people, and as always, I'm going to catch you on the next one.